Our brains are constantly taking in the information from the world around us. To avoid being overwhelmed, our brains filter out unnecessary information and focus on the things that are most important to us. This happens automatically without us even realizing it. For example, if you're in a crowded room, your brain will filter out the background noise and focus on the conversation you're having. If someone in another conversation suddenly mentions your name, your brain will probably pick up on that, even though you weren't paying attention to them before. This filtering process is called selective attention. It's important for our brains to be able to do this because otherwise we would be overwhelmed by all the information coming to us all the time. However, selective attention can also lead to biases. For example, if you're really interested in a particular topic, you might be more likely to notice information that supports your belief about that topic, and less likely to notice information that contradicts your beliefs. This is called the hostile media effect. It's a cognitive bias that occurs when people believe that the media is biased against their own point of view. Hostile media effect was first proposed by Whelan, Ross, and Lepper in 1982. They found that people who were strongly supportive of a particular side in a conflict were more likely to see the media as being biased against their side, even when the media was actually reporting the news in a neutral way. There are a number of reasons why the hostile media effect occurs. One reason is that people tend to pay more attention to information that confirms their existing beliefs. This is called confirmation bias. When people see news articles or TV reports that confirm their beliefs, they are more likely to remember them and believe them to be accurate. Another reason for the hostile media effect is that people tend to interpret ambiguous information in a way that is consistent with their belief. This is called motivated reasoning. For example, if a news article reports that a study found that there is no link between vaccines and autism, a person who believes that vaccines cause autism is more likely to interpret the article as being biased against their beliefs. There are a number of things that people can do to overcome the hostile media effect. Our brains process information in a way that is influenced by our own biases. This can sometimes lead to distorted perceptions, even of simple and objective facts. For example, people who are fans of a particular sports team may be more likely to see violations of the opposing team than their own team. This is because our brains are wired to pay more attention to information that confirms our beliefs. While cognitive biases can sometimes lead to problems, they are also an important part of how our brain works. They help us to make sense of the world around us and to make decisions quickly. One way to think about cognitive biases is as shortcuts. They allow us to process information more efficiently, even if it means that we sometimes make mistakes. It is important to be aware of cognitive biases so that we can try to overcome them. However, we should also remember that they are a natural part of how our brain works. Here are some specific examples of cognitive biases. We have confirmation bias, that is the tendency to seek out information that confirms our existing beliefs and to ignore information that contradicts them. Then we have the availability heuristic. This is the tendency to judge the likelihood of something based on how easily examples of it come to your mind. Then we also have the attribution bias. This is the tendency to attribute our own successes to our own abilities and our failures to external factors. By understanding these cognitive biases, we can be more mindful of how they affect our thinking and decision making. This can help us to make better choices and to avoid making mistakes.